All right, the stream has started. I don't know if this will be. Um, I'm probably not going to be able to compete with Island Bear's late night streams because God knows that those could go on forever
Hmm.
theoretically. But I'm live with Polska Bear,
Maybe.
and uh, the Hangout links is in the Discord for those bears that want to join in. But I'm also going to post the YouTube link here so that you guys can watch this.
Yep. You.
Oh, we already have a viewer, I guess.
Oh, fancy! Look at that.
I don't I don't know who it is yet though. I need to open up the the stream chat here.
Hmm. Was Southern Bear that stopped in earlier? I don't know. Like I said, one of the lady bear, one of the mama lady bears there. Well, most of them are mamas actually.
Well, we have a couple of those. It,
Yeah.
it seems so.
Where I've made the joke several times, but we're severely lacking on young single lady bears. We've got plenty of young single like guy bears, but the lady bear scene ain't happening. Not
That
like the
that
best place to pick up a girlfriend, but
that is that is ve- that is very true.
I feel like my best bet is to go to one of Owen's shows because might actually meet someone my age there. But
Yeah, maybe. Of course it's Irwin in the
I'm convinced that's either Canna Bear or it's near.
oh and Amethyst Bear is
Oh, cool. And with us, feel free to join.
hey Amy, I I posted the hangout link in the Discord. So if you'd like to join in, feel free. If not, that's fine too. Um, so I guess after my initial cigar stream, like right after it was when Trump made the announcement that we're going to bomb Syria,
Oh no!
and
Come on now. They need to back out of that. Stupid.
yeah,
So stupid. Like,
it yeah, it could be.
well, Congress still has to okay that, don't they? Like, if he hasn't just done it because it came out publicly, they have to okay it because it could be considered an act of war.
Yeah, yeah, it could. I mean, here's the thing. I don't. I'm trying not to worry. I know that a whole bunch of people are already freaking out about this in some in some ways. I'm trying to kind of stay cool about this
Right.
in the sense that like if I mean if they stay if if we get in and get out and that's one thing. And I mean I don't think anyone is trying to say that Assad is a great guy,
Yeah. No, he is not a great guy.
but at the same time it's not necessarily our conflict, and I just
Right.
I don't think we need another Iraq. I don't think we need another
War.
Iraq is all.
There's another Middle Eastern conflict that will never truly end, that we can never really get out of.
Yeah, well, and I mean, we never like really got out of the full one either.
No, we haven't gotten out of any of them. We've had some presence in the region ever since the Cold War.
Uh, this guy named Rodrigo in the live chat is asking, is Trump doing the right thing? And you know that for me at least, that's the $1 million question. I
Right.
don't I don't know. Um, I think at this point it's a little too early to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, hey, Chuberica, good evening. Uh, uh, yeah, as far as I mean, this could either be really really successful, or this could turn into a full blown cluster dump.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right. Because the big question is going to be, what's Russia going to do? Because they've already said if we move, they move on us. So
right.
that's
Well,
that's a following question you have to have is it a hollow promise, or are they going to mobilize? Because if they mobilize, we have to be ready for that. And I don't think we are. I'm going to be honest. Yes,
oh,
our militarily wise, like troops and general tech, we've got it. But for example, like ICBMs and stuff, that if that stuff starts flying, we haven't updated ours since the Cold War. We've actually been breaking more and more down, and we haven't been advancing tech all that much. A lot
right.
of our stock was built during the Cold War and hasn't been updated since they tore the Berlin Wall.
Well, and thinking about things in terms of, I mean, we can talk about ICBMs and technology and all that. That's fine and dandy, but in terms of technology, in terms of people alone, the Russia just has. I mean, I hate to. This is only just to sound horrible, but they literally have more bodies that they can throw into the battlefield
Yeah.
than we do, and I don't think I. The other thing is, I don't think we have a population now that would necessarily be willing to go to war, especially in
They would have to get
Syria.
trapped.
So
They would. If all well war happens with Russia, the only real other superpower in the world. Don't care what anyone else says. Russia's really the only other like remotely close superpower to us, and has a remote chance of being our equal in sheer numbers, like sheer people on the battlefield. They they can go toe to toe with us. There would have to be a draft, and if that happens, see ya. I'm gone, and so are a lot of us because selective service.
yeah, well, I mean, I'm in this situation where where I would be exempted from that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I mean they might they might there were talks after 9/11 of putting Americans in the intelligence community too, and training
Right.
like even non-combatants
Mm-hmm.
and intelligence, which I mean that wouldn't be as bad as a battlefield, but I wouldn't necessarily want to gather intelligence for a war I don't support either.
Right.
So, but we shall see. Well, it'll certainly be interesting to see how this plays out. So,
Yeah.
um,
Again, if like I said, I'm pretty sure at this point when he's gone public with it, uh, well, that would be my question. He said he's going to war, or like he's just going to do a target strike. And that's that whole like this and that, and cats and dogs, and tomatoes, and figuring out like like I said, my biggest question would be: doesn't what he's doing, is it something that Congress has to approve?
right.
So they usually have to approve acts of war. Um, if it's one single target strike, that's one thing. I don't think they have to approve that. He can do it and then ask for permission afterwards. There's a loophole that allows him to do that. But with Russia having already stated that they would go to war with us if we attacked Syria, Turkey, and Assad there, then I feel like maybe technically you could say, well, then now the president's doing an act of war because we've had a country say that they would retaliate against us if we did this, even though it's not the country we're targeting. So
Well,
on
yeah.
and so forth, yada yada yada. I'm just hoping someone can like check Trump before he pulls the trigger on it, and we can actually go. Actually, that it sounds good, but that's not a good idea. We should hold the phone before we go dropping bombs.
Well, what we also need is we need confirmation that the intelligence is
Right.
real too, because I mean that's the other thing is. Uh, and granted, excuse me, I missed part of the of Trump's press conference because I was finishing up my stream from earlier.
Mm.
But uh, from what I've been able to find on Google, I mean, I'm even looking on my phone right now. Uh, they're not really saying like what intelligence they have that proves that this is, you know, that Assad is responsible for this.
Which is a big thing to have going in, especially after the whole shindig with the Iraq war, to find out, oh, there were no chemical weapons.
Well, right, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what I was. Uh, that's exactly what I was going to say. Let's see.
Yeah. But yeah.
Okay, yeah. Even the New York Times, uh, which I know that the New York Times is a big lefty site, but even the New York Times, from what I'm reading on their Twitter handle, it says President Trump has ordered strikes against Syria as punishment suspect for a suspected chemical attack near Syria. Okay, the fact that they're saying suspected, like that's that's no, that's not going to cut it. That's like saying,
Right.
well, maybe it happened. Like we're 90% sure that it happened, but there's still a 10% chance that it hasn't happened.
Right. That's why I was, I posted this video on Twitter as well as on Facebook the other day about a war games of the general that happened in like 2002. It was Millennium Blast or whatever, Millennium whatever, and it was this big simulated war game, and they pitted the U.S. against like basically ISIS. Um, and they had this 3-star general head up the Taliban esque side, and he decimated them in like 20. He decimated the U.S. military in under 48 hours because he knew he knew the U.S. tactics, he knew how things would play out, and he knew what they would expect of him. He just did the opposite. And he just, I mean, he blew up an entire battle fleet. Like he sunk in under 24 hours. He sunk an entire battle fleet of U.S. That's carriers, destroyers, and all that. He just overwhelmed them with inferior means. And it's one of those uh, we're going to go into this thing. You want to strike where you're not 100% sure he did it. It's like, personally, when something like that happens, my first call would be to the Israelis. They're our biggest ally in the Middle East. Call up, Netanyahu, ask him to get people on it, figure out what happened. And right now, the other government that seems, because of things happening over there with Iran, is the Saudis kind of like us right now. Like, they're willing to play along because they know Iran's going to start pushing on them and has been through proxy war via Yemen. So call up Israel, call up the Saudis, ask them to figure out who the heck did it. And
Yeah. Well, and I mean, there are alt-right people who are out there saying that, oh, obviously, Israel wanted this because of the Jews, and I'm like, no, no, that's not, you know, that's not the,
those people can just go back to their mama's basement. Like,
yeah, those guys can go back to, you know, to their little gay Hitler fetishizing conventions or whatever. But at the same time, I do think I I do think. Oh, Erwin actually just brought up a good point. No nukes in space. That is actually a really good point because if that happens and we start launching you know EMP attacks on each other, that's gonna you know if that happens, then civilization as we know is
right.
screwed. So
And honestly, if they were gonna go all out on us, what I would expect from Russia, because they've tested it before and they know they can get through, because we're because we're behind on stuff, on infrastructure and stuff, is there'd be a targeted attack to the electric grid in the U.S. They would hack into the electric plants and shut them down. They make it so that they can't function more than just like a DDoS. They'd probably make sure everything was crossed and the program was running everything to make sure things don't fry, and they would just fry our electric grid. And then we're flying blind. They can do whatever the hell they want. We're done. Like, we don't have much tech these days other than people that doesn't run on telemetry and stuff and advanced computer stuff that requires the internet to work and various other things. And if that's down, good luck.
well, as I said earlier, that's kind of why technology is a non-factor. Like assuming worst case scenario that they hack our power plants or set off nukes in space or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, they have more sheer manpower,
Yeah.
in terms of a population than we do. And I mean, I hate to say this, but with all the with all the social media obsessed Instagram celebrities in air quotes, like I wouldn't really trust them to be able to take up arms. So
Oh yeah. Oh no, none of the big celebrities would. They'd all dodge the draft one way or another.
yeah, yeah. Then they actually would leave the country. So
Right. They would conveniently all have movies and shows and other things outside of, you know, the various things you see when you have a draft. People find ways around. People with money
uh, yeah.
around.
Well, mindless Mike. decided to add another downer to this conversation. Although he said, wait for wait until artificial intelligence occurs in automated weapons. Well, I mean, we're already kind of there with drones, so uh, yeah.
On that note, they're actually a lot of the Silicon Valley folks are talking because of things like movies like Terminator and all that. They're talking about getting trying to get legislation passed and regulations passed that say that basically you can't make self-aware AI. Like saying there's a line you cannot cross with AI because if you cross that, we lose control of it. And once we lose control, well, who knows? You know, worst case scenario, Skynet. So we need to keep AI under check to where we can control it.
Do you, someone else commented, and I don't know who this person is. Hey, do you think Scandinavia will be involved, or will this end in the whole world being nuked? Uh, I don't. Is there any particular reason why Scandinavia would be involved? I mean,
Yeah,
I'm assuming it.
perhaps get in the game unless Russia uses war as an opportunity to advance geographically.
Well, yeah. Will this end in the whole world being nuked? I
No.
mean, no. I mean, like I said, I'm naturally an optimistic person. You know, I'm, I really am trying to stay optimistic and say that hopefully this doesn't turn into anything, and
Mhm.
you know that if this is a strike, that this will be like a quick in, quick out.
Yeah.
At the same time, I don't think this will end in nuclear war. I think I think what would happen, and in some ways this could be worse. Like I said, I think that basically people would start taking out each other's electric grids.
Yeah. Yeah, there wouldn't be nothing like Hiroshima or Nagasaki. If nukes were used, it'd be a targeted high altitude explosion that would cause an EMP. It's not going to be used. It's not going to be used like we used on Japan. Not even close. And even then, they're going to do it without having to resort to nukes because they know where it leads. You got to remember, Putin was KGB before he was, you know, president. You know, before he led Russia, he was KGB. He's ex KGB.
Yeah.
So he worked during the Iron Curtain under Soviet Russia during the Cold War. He knows what nukes can do. He knows what, once you use that, what it leads to. He's not dumb. Unlike Trump, he's really freaking smart. Trump's clever. He's not always the smartest tool in the shed. Oh, not
Well,
nearly the smartest tool in the shed, I should say. Whereas Putin is actually smart. Like he's crafty. He's cold. He's calculated. He's killed men. I guarantee you, he has killed men with his bare hands.
oh yeah, they're
On Trump.
yeah. I mean, say what you will about Putin. I mean, Putin is a legit like secret agent,
Yeah.
type dude. Yeah, there. Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that back during the Cold War that he he probably he was probably a hitman, or at least
Mhm.
took people out, and you know I don't like you said Trump's not dumb, but I
He's
think
not
that
on Putin's level. Not even
the
close.
well the other problem is I was talking about this with a friend on Facebook earlier this evening. Trump is Trump is no longer surrounded by the advisors he had coming in.
Right.
Steve Bannon is out. Uh, Sebastian Gorka is out.
Right.
All basically the entirety of the MAGA, of the Make America Great Again people who were in his campaign, who started out with him, like a lot of them are out.
Yep.
Mattis is the only one. Well, Mattis and Pence are really the only people I can think of who are in who are still in the you know cabinet from who are still in the administration from when the magnet happened.
Right.
Uh,
Bannon, getting rid of Bannon was a good call by Trump because Bannon was in it for Bannon. He wasn't in it for Trump or for the U.S.
right? Yeah, I agree with that.
Guy, but he's intelligent for himself. He's self-serving, and that like he should have gone sooner, but he didn't, and that's that. But yeah,
Well, right, but the one mistake is that that was when the neoconservative, warmongering establishment started coming in. Okay. Someone asked, so will this conflict be World War III or on the same scale as World War II or worse? Again, it's too early. It's too
wait,
early. It's too early to tell, in my opinion. Um, I mean, Bo Gustus or whoever you are, like I get what you're questioning, but I'm not the one. I get why you're asking that question, but I'm not the one to answer that question.
mm-hmm.
And I don't think anyone can answer that question right now with all due respect.
Right,
Uh, so and I mean, we'll just have to see what happens in the next few days. This
right,
this could either be really good or turn out to be really ugly. So
right.
just don't
I,
know.
I'm personally hoping someone manages to talk Trump down before this all goes through, and we can all just, I'm a big fan of Teddy Roosevelt, the idea of walk softly but carry a big stick. Like, don't go sticking your nose in other people's business. But when people come trying to knock at your door, to raid your house, you answer the door with a freaking shotgun to their face. Like, just really, like, we don't get involved, but you mess with us, we're coming down hard, we're coming down fast. So this whole thing with Syria, it, if Assad did it, it is a human rights violation, and he needs to be brought to trial for it.
Right.
If he didn't do it, we need to figure out who did and bring them to trial for it and have the proper course of action. Neither, like, the idea of war is not in. We shouldn't be going to war over this. It wasn't an attack against us. It was a human rights violation. Whole different way to be handled. This is not the time for cowboy justice. This is the time for due process, court of law. Let's be civilized.
I would say, and I'm going to preface this. Um, I'm going to preface this by saying that I have absolutely no proof of this whatsoever. This is just sheer speculation on my part. But I suspect that Assad wasn't responsible for this. Again, I'm not saying he's a great guy, but I think Assad is smart enough to know that it wouldn't be in his best interest to piss off the U.S. I think he's at least that smart. So, but what I do think is that ISIS is perhaps responsible for this, and that they're pinning this on Assad.
Yeah, no, he's got no skin in the game for doing this. It doesn't make sense. And his the history of Assad has shown that he's fairly rational. He's not unhinged. He's not crazy. He's brutal, but he's not crazy. He's evil, but he's not crazy. And it just him being the culprit doesn't make sense. Like, it takes
Yeah,
gymnastics to get there, or to say that the U.S. did. No, it takes some gymnastics to get there because we're, in numbers wise, we're winning in Syria. Like, we've decimated the ISIS forces. We haven't, of course, they still exist as an idea. That's a whole different war game. That's a whole different battle.
right. Yeah, that's
No,
part of that's part of the culture wars. So
as for numbers, as like pure their guys, our guys, we're kicking their asses. We're demoralizing the crap out of them. So we have no skin in the game. Some people
right,
have the whole. There's that meme out there. Oh well, they dropped the U.S. all these with all these dictators have in common is they rejected the U.S. dollar, and then soon after they've all been attacked. They were all attacked, and now Assad's going to get attacked too because he dropped the U.S. dollar as valued currency or whatever. And I'm like, no,
yeah. Well, again, like a lot of those same conspiracy theorists are the same who are like, and the Jews control
right,
the feds.
right.
So
They're the ones. Everything comes back to the Rothschilds, and it's like,
yeah, and you know, um, yeah. I mean, and like you said earlier, I mean, Trump should have called Bibi right away because if anyone knows what's going on
right,
in that section of the world, it's the Israelis.
right.
So um, the other thing I saw on Twitter was supposedly the one thing that does make me a little suspicious on the part of Russia, though. I'm not saying they did it, but the one thing that is a little bit concerning is I did see on Twitter from a couple of different sources that supposedly Russia has proof that Assad did not do it, and I'm like, well, okay, if you have proof, then why didn't you email us or
Hmm.
send it over here
Right.
or something like that would be like my top priority to make sure that if we do have information
Yeah.
or that if they do have information, they should that they need to send that over to us right away. So,
Right. Especially, yeah, because Russia doesn't, contrary to what people think, Russia does not, and Putin especially, does not want an all out war with the U.S. Because tech-wise, like technology-wise, we do outclass them. They've got a very short window to best us and cripple us, and if they don't succeed, they're done. They lose the war in the long run because we can outproduce them and we out-tech them. They may have more, bodies. They may have more bullet bags, so to say, but outside of that, we outclass them in every way. So it isn't in their best interest to start an all-out war with the U.S. Their game, ever since the Berlin Wall fell, has been subversion, covert ops, little things here and there, things that slip under the radar. They can pay little things they can pay people off, and things disappear. All out war is not their game plan. They're going a whole different route. So so yeah, it would be in their best interest to bring this information forward because that avoids an all out war and gains them credit with the U.S. and makes it seem like they're somewhat our ally, which is good for Putin because then he can exchange that elsewhere for, you know, for example, he can maybe exchange cash in later when if Crimea is ever actually brought up, Ukraine is ever brought up, and various other things. It's just, yeah. So, but that's also Russia. They'll claim to have things they don't have just to gain attention as well.
My friend Trucks from Alaska, who's a longtime listener of the podcast, he brought up a good point. Why veto the UN Security Council? Um, that's I mean I I didn't know that happened. Um,
Right.
or I don't know. Trucks, if you're still there, did that actually happen? Or yeah, comment in the chat if that's the case. I I mean, someone else brought up the fact on Twitter. This is really kind of amazing. People are sharing tweets now of retweeting some of Trump's old tweets from like 5 years ago, where he's condemning going into Syria without action and
Right.
whatnot. I guess this is. I guess with Trump, what we're seeing right now is the whole thing of the notion of absolute power corrupts. So
Yeah. Yeah. The dangerous thing with Trump is that he's very much cares, and to a degree, does care what people think about him. I
yeah,
don't think everyone thinks he's great. He's a narcissist. He's definitely a bit of a narcissist in that, he's bought into his own PR. He's bought into that. So there's that. So I'll probably have flip flop a lot and be like, oh, they'll be okay with it. My base will never leave me, which in a way is true. He's not. He has to have a major screw up to be abandoned by his base.
which this may be it. I don't know if you know who Mike Cernovich is, but I was watching his stream, and Cernovich tonight was kind of basically said, I don't care if Trump gets reelected in 2020 or not. So
Right. Yeah, which I think is why the left was so overall, like the media and stuff was so silent on the idea of him bombing Syria. Like they're not saying anything now. They're waiting until he does it because I think they realize at this point it's the only way they can get him. Even if they disagree with the idea, well, also they may fully agree with the idea secretly. They may be all about it, but at the same time, it's like we've got him. Like he finally screwed up. We've got him. There's no way they're going to vote him back in 2020. He just screwed up too hard.
yeah, uh, definitely. Yeah, people. Now I'm getting DMs on Twitter about this. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. Uh, Russia used its UN Security Council veto 3 times to terminate a probe set up to determine responsibility for the use of chemical weapons in Syria. Okay. Yeah, thanks for tweeting this at me. Yeah, that's interesting. So, I mean, maybe Russia is behind this though. Um, again, though, this is the whole point of this, I guess, is that Trump is, well, I guess the whole country is taking action before we fully know what's going on,
Right.
how we which is how we ended up in the mess we were in with Iraq.
Right. Which is weird because last I had heard, they were actually going to try and look into who done it before they went firing missiles at people.
Right. Well, that's what we should have done.
Right.
All right. Well, I guess Ryan uh, is alive along with Island Bear and that group. So I'm assuming that a lot of the bears are going to be
Probably be over there.
yeah. Oh, I guess I guess that tweet was from 2017.
Oh,
So
that's a
well,
that would have been the
well,
airstrike that he did.
right, right. But I mean, it still kind of does matter in the sense though that I mean, if they vetoed it the first time, I mean that is kind of a red flag, I guess. So,
Definitely.
thanks, Amy. Glad you're still watching. Yeah, knowing Brian, his stream will probably still be on
Yeah.
when I'm when I'm going to bed. So, um, and I mean, I'm not necessarily an early sleeper either. So, um, Bicentennial also tweeted this out. So, thank you for that as well. Yeah. I mean, the, really, there's not much else we can say at this point
Yeah.
about that. So, switching topics though, did you catch Owen's live stream this morning? I caught the last half.
Yeah, I caught just about all of it. I missed the first maybe 2 minutes, but yeah, I caught it.
So I came in at the part where he was talking about that Indian
Ah,
guy.
he was just telling a funny story about his travels, really,
Hmm.
and he was kind of, I think, working on a new bit. It sounded like they're testing a bit with us because he knows if it goes well with the Bears, it will probably go well with the broader, you know, people
Yeah.
people who sit there and watch for that. But yeah, he was just talking about how when he got off the plane, he was in the van with this Buddhist dude. He's like, Buddhists are all supposed to be about nirvana and lack of earthly goods and stuff. He's like, I'm a big dude, and and I got a compact because it was still expensive to rent, but he's like, you know, I'm here for like a day or two, and I'm doing just a little bit of driving. He's like, I don't need a huge car. I just need to get around. Like, I need to go from point A to point B, and that's it. Like this Buddha, Buddha is this fat Buddhist. And it's like, half my size, but twice my width, or whatever. It's like, it's a full size. It's like, I'll never trust you.
Uh huh. I'm still here. I just gotta grab my charger real quick. So Yeah. Well, I mean, Owen is extremely well traveled, and you know, Canada, I want to give a shout out. I give him a shout out a lot on these streams. But he he did a clip compilation tonight or last night of Owen's greatest hits,
Right.
which by the way, Amethyst, if you're in the chat room, make sure Canada goes to bed at like a decent hour.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Control command, Amethyst.
I think I think he was like up until like 5 this morning Eastern time.
Uh, I don't care if it means you have to slip stuff in his drinks. You get control of him.
Yeah, well, she is a lady bear, so she can do other things to
Ha 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 ha. Uh, hold on. Huh? We encourage a ring first.
yes,
Marriage and
yeah,
the babies. We don't
yes,
go with the baby making before the marriage. We
yes,
cannabis first before
yes,
the baby making activities even start to begin.
yeah, yeah, no, I know, I completely agree. I'm just saying that there's no reason to drug Canada. I mean, unless your name is Erwin Benjamin, then then you know,
We'll just slip him soy. The
well,
slow death of soylent.
no. I mean, Erwin gets power. Erwin gets his powers from soy. So instead of that, we need to give him like a steak or something like that. So
So Irwin's the soy version of Popeye.
yeah, although I think I
Well,
I
that needs to be
think
a thing now. One of the bears need to work on that. Sorry, one of the bears need to make Irwin a theme song that's a parody of Popeye the Sailor Man.
oh to, oh to, oh totally. I think I think I know who Irwin finally is because Irwin Irwin said something after his comment about nukes. He said something about God, freedom, legacy. No, I'm not saying it. I'm no, I'm not saying that that's suspicious or anything, John Neary. You're kind of giving yourself you're kind of giving yourself away there. Great troll though. Great troll though. Great troll. So I mean, that does kind. I think we finally solved the mystery of who Erwin Bungeman is. I mean, who else would be obsessed enough with seeing John Neary in phone booths than Neary than
Then
Neary himself? So see, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you another little tip here for the Bears. Brian's stream, it's good from about 10 to midnight. After that, it devolves. Well, it just devolves. So the trick is to wake up early and go watch DJ Near's stream, and then come back to YouTube around 4 or 5 for mine, and then yeah, that's how the whole bear stream schedule goes.
right. And
What?
I was looking for a slot to maybe start something, but I'm like, there's just no room. to start something at this point.
Oh sure, oh sure. Well, I mean, heck, if you want to. If you want to start something, I promote the heck out of it. See, that's the thing is, I mean, is some of us, cross stream over us, and there are always people jumping in and out of streams and everything
Mm.
like that. So,
Yeah, I'm considering doing like a kind of video version of the Bible talk stream. Like I want to get some. That's kind of my area of expertise, other than gardening. Like gardening and the Bible. That's the limit of my knowledge.
so you're a Christian too, then?
Yeah, I went to did 3 years of Bible school and everything, the whole 9 yards. Going through the process of being, who knows, maybe a deacon someday. Don't think I'll make it to priest. Think I'm too radical to be a priest. I
That yeah yeah. Well, that's cool though, man. I'm doing a I'm doing a Bible study at my school. Or no, I'm leading it at my university. Or I'm going to it in the fall probably.
Mm.
So, so yeah, but I mean, totally. I mean, I think the Bears have room for a lot. So, Amos just says we're both not night owls. I'm working on getting him on a better schedule. Yeah, well, good luck with that. And with this, he's always on. Canterbury is.
I think at this point, Amethyst, your only luck on that is going to be like I said, you gotta get that MRS degree. Get Canterbury to commit, and basically you're gonna have to make him tired if you catch my drift.
Yeah, well, Canterbury also needs to.
Just
Yeah.
make it to where he has to sleep if you catch my drift.
Well, yeah. Well, Canterbury also needs to come to the U.S. first too. So
Right? Yeah, he needs to get out of Canada. Like I know he talks about how beautiful it is and stuff. It's like get your passport, go over there to visit, but it's turning into a hellhole. Like just get out of there.
yeah, and I mean, I I guess people are talking about if Jordan Peterson may win, but I mean that would be awesome if that happens.
Fun for real. I don't think he will.
Oh, really? That was just. Oh yeah, well then can't.
But I think he said that he wasn't going to because it
Well,
was for him. Like he gave some thought to the idea because when he first mentioned it, he said he's thinking about it. Which, if you know Jordan, if you know Dr. Peterson, like it takes him a while. He'll say, "I'm still thinking about this." That means I haven't decided one way or another. It's just an idea, and I've thought about it enough to talk about it publicly, but I'm not settled on it yet. I'm still formulating it.
yeah, well that was kind of the whole thing. Like a few years ago, Dennis Prager, who I also deeply admire, he was saying that he was thinking of running for governor of California, but that never
Mm-hmm.
that never happened. So
That was
yeah, boy,
if you call or not, depending on when you got in. Did you hear him talk about what happened with Prager?
with Prager, with the whole YouTube thing. I mean, yeah, I've been
Well, not that he was there.
following
While
that.
he was there, they threw out the idea of doing a regular show with him.
Oh yeah, yeah, with Owen. Yeah, I would see if Owen. My ideal dream team would be uh, Prager, Peterson, Crowder, and Owen. and maybe and,
Oh, that'd be great.
and maybe Dave Rubin, to kind of like play the other side of the fence sometimes too. Dave Rubin is a really interesting case. So, I mean, I know Rubin considers himself a liberal, but I think he's slowly moving more and more towards the right. So,
I think he'll be counted as part of the right because classical liberals just won't be allowed anymore on the left. He'll
right.
basically he'll pull it's the he'll pull Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan was a liberal until the Democrats reformed their stance, and he's like, "Yeah, no, I don't. That's all bullcrap." He's like, "I don't believe in any
Well,
of that, so I'm running with these guys because you guys just basically kicked me out."
well, yeah. I mean that. I mean, Owen has said in his streams too that that's what happened with him. He was, he considered himself pretty progressive up until the whole, tranny thing happened. So,
Mhm.
and I think Joe Rogan is an interesting case because I think Rogan still wants to consider himself like a liberal in good standing, but he can't either. He's
Yeah,
at that crossroads.
yeah,
So
because he's trying to have honest discussion, and more, both sides. We're both guilty of it. Both sides are guilty of it. We saw that recently among the Bears. But we had run in with it. Both sides can very quickly go to blaming and shutting down and identity politics, and it's all about the group you belong to and all that, and you have to protect the group, and you know the more that happens, the more Rogan and Rubin and others will be pushed to make a choice of which side. Like the middle ground is slowly shrinking because the polarization is continuing.
well, the middle of the ground is becoming the new right wing conservative. Um, I mean, group. I mean, yeah, you're right. But I mean, even to entertain new ideas or to entertain, I mean, you almost have to be libertarian somewhat these days. So to even you know be able to consider new ideas. So I
Right.
mean, because I mean there is a faction of like the far right that doesn't want to budge on anything. Those people don't really matter anymore. They I think they've been out of the picture for the last 15 years roughly. The more religious right, if you um, I hate to use that term since I'm also religious, you
Right.
you get what I mean, like the uber hard Christian right. So there's the uber hard Christian right, and then there's like the more libertarian conservative
Right.
thing, which I think is where a lot of people are at. Um, but then there's but but then there's also the far radical left, and there's pretty much no ground for being moderate from the left anymore. That's kind of that's what I've noticed. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
all right, man. Well, thanks for joining my stream. I know people are going over to Brian's, and I'm gonna head out here myself. But thanks for joining the stream, and thanks to all the bears for tuning in. So hopefully next time you see me, we won't have started World War III yet. So
That would be awesome.
yeah. So, Bears, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you tomorrow for the Whitfield Report full podcast, which starts at 8 p.m. So,
Goodbye, Bears.
all right. Good evening. Good night, Bears.